Welcome back to my channel, everybody, at the Film Optimist, where I could find the silver lining in even the worst of films. Tonight, I had the opportunity to see the newest film directed by Josh Cooley, Transformers 1. For those of you who don't know, he also wrote and directed Toy Story 4, so I knew that going into this movie, I was going to get some form of quality, but whoo, boy, did I not expect what I was going to get in this film. A quick elevator pitch for the story of this film. This is essentially an origin story that takes place before the rivalry between Megatron and Optimus Prime. We start this movie off where they're actually best friends working in the mines of Cybertron, where they mine for a resource that the planet needs to survive. Megatron is this very mild-mannered, quiet guy that just wants to work his 9 to 5 and go home. And Optimus is essentially, this is before he's Optimus Prime, he's this hothead that wants to leave a mark on his society. He wants to show all of his higher-ups that he could be more than just a miner. He's constantly getting him and Megatron, his best friend, into all these shenanigans, not to be a troublemaker, but just to show that he's special and there's more to him than meets the eye. In doing so, however, they wind up stumbling across a secret that would change the course of all of Cybertron and the higher-ups, and that secret that they discover puts them on two totally separate paths with two opposing ideas of how to handle the situation that creates this rivalry between the two of them. I don't want to give too much away, but I will say that the friendship in this movie is so well done that it is so tragic knowing where it's going to end, if you have any knowledge of the Transformers films and the fact that they both hate each other. This movie, in a lot of ways, is the beginning to the Transformers that you know and love. You learn how Bumblebee and Optimus become friends, you learn why Optimus and Megatron become enemies, and you learn how Optimus reaches this stature of power and nobility, and this unwavering sense of justice that he has in all the Michael Bay films, the cartoons in the 80s that you're all used to. You learn how he becomes the leader of Cybertron. And it's so effective. What did I think about this movie? I loved it. This is hands down the best Transformers film we have ever had. Now, I haven't seen the 1987 cartoon that apparently retconned a lot and killed all the famous Transformers and Autobots and ushered in an era of new Transformers. I know a lot of people love that movie. I've never seen it. I've seen some episodes of the cartoon here, but I have seen all of the Michael Bay films, including Bumblebee and Transformers Rise of the Beasts, and I could confidently sit here and say by miles that this film is far superior to any of the previous Transformers films that I just named. By miles. This is the Schindler's List of Transformers films. Now, I know a lot of people are turned off by animation. You think it's very kiddie, but I'm telling you, even though this is a cartoon, there is some really dark things that happen in this movie and really edgy. Do not let the animation deter you from wanting to see this if you are a fan of the Michael Bay films. This delivers the crowd-pleasing moments that you want out of a Transformers film, especially in the third act when Optimus really comes into himself and he starts fucking shit up. It is awesome. The CGI is really well done. The voice acting from Chris Hemsworth as Optimus, to Scarlett Johansson, to Keegan-Michael Key as Bumblebee, to Brian Tyree Henry as Megatron, it's all flawless. I was really nervous with Chris Hemsworth getting cast as Optimus because I'm like, we still have Peter Cullen alive. Why don't we just get him to voice his character? But it is a much younger Optimus, so it makes sense. And for the first 20 minutes, I was not really sold by Chris Hemsworth as Optimus just because his voice is so much different than Peter Cullen. But at the same time, the movie establishes that when he was younger, before Optimus Prime, he was a lot different than the Prime that we know, that's just super noble and all about justice and stoicness. So he has this more laid-back kind of demeanor, but the thing this movie does so well is you slowly see him transform into the Optimus that Peter Cullen portrays in all the Michael Bay movies and the original cartoons. He's just so good here as the voice of Optimus. The fight scenes are incredible. You get hints of the famous Transformers theme song playing when the final act is happening. The transforming is out of this world awesome to watch because in the Michael Bay films, it was a lot of like visual noise. Like obviously you could see them transforming, but it's a lot of just CG pixels and you can't really understand what's happening. But here they transform like they do in the cartoons where you could physically see the parts in them turn and transform into the Autobot versions of themselves. The action's great, the comedy's great. The story between Megatron and Optimus, starting as best friends and becoming enemies by the end, is just so tragic. Think of Anakin and Obi-Wan in the Star Wars films. Very much so on that level of devastation when it finally lands. It's truly one of the most epic Transformers films I have ever seen. Josh Cooley just knew the assignment. He knew exactly what the true fans of this franchise wanted, and I hope that that translates to box office dollars, because this movie deserves all of you fans of the Transformers films to see it. Now, there is logic problems in it. God, I wish I could just give a movie a perfect score. Things like when these giant, larger-than-life machines decide to be silent, their metallic footsteps on metallic ground just naturally goes away. And there are also some stupid decisions on Optimus Prime's part that I feel like were there just to further the plot along in terms of their investigation into something. And it was just such those stupid conveniences that happen in movies. Like, they need to find something and, oh my god, it's right there in front of us. Like, stuff, like little things like that, that if this movie just took the extra month or so to hash out smarter ways to get them from point A to point B, it would have benefited from it. But outside of that, I had no problems with this film. I was so enamored from the start of this film because you just buy that they're these best friends and you can't see what could possibly happen that would draw a wedge between them. And then the thing happens and you're like, oh shit, I could easily see myself falling on either side of that line, because Megatron, as awful as he is, once he's full villain, the thing that turns him that way, it's very much so something that's relevant in our world, where a lot of people would get upset over the thing that makes him cross the line. And it takes a really strong-willed person like Optimus to go the other way and say, no, I'm gonna be better than that. And this movie just translated that so beautifully. Again, I give this movie a 9 out of 10. Don't walk to the theater to see it, run to it. Movies that put this much love and care into the story deserve to be seen and deserve to have sequels. I want to see a sequel, and I know if you all watch it, you will too. Who would have thought? A movie with just all Transformers and no humans is the best possible film in this franchise. Anyway, guys, I hope I gave you a reason to go to the movies this weekend. If I have, let's talk about it. If I haven't, tell me why. I would love to get better at providing you information from my thoughts of these movies. And as always, guys, I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll catch you next time.